everybody, hope you're doing well today. Hope the season is going well for you. I want to do a quick little video. I've been super busy lately with a lot of different things, work and businesses and lots of different things that I have going, and consequently I've not been able to either shoot video, and then when I have been able to shoot video, haven't been able to really edit it and get it out. So and honestly I haven't had anything super catastrophically fun happen in the last few days anyway, mostly just me driving around in the mud. But I did want to do kind of a little recap, because this morning I went ahead and pulled every trap I have out, which was 22, I think, 23. And then I'm loaded up and I'm going out tomorrow to redo everything in some new areas, some new farms. I'm actually going to be on vacation this whole week. My trapping partner Steve was supposed to be with me, but he hurt himself. He hurt his back, and he's not going to be able to go. And so I'm quite sad about that, because it's always so fun trapping with Steve, and we don't get to spend that much time together anymore now that he's retired. We used to work together, so we saw each other every day. But trapping with him for a week here in December and a week in January is spectacular, and I just love it so much. And so hopefully, Steve, if you're watching, you're getting better, you're taking care of yourself, and in January we'll be ready to go and ready to go out and catch some critters. So I'm going to be on my own for the next week or so, just trapping along, doing my thing. Going to be doing kind of a wide berth. It's probably going to be like an all day, like an 8-hour, 9-hour a day every day, putting in traps, checking traps, multiple properties, and I'll shoot video along the way as I go. But I wanted to do a little video today of just the recap of the first 2 weeks of trapping for me. So 14 days out. Today was like my 14th day. I think I was out. I pulled everything today. It had no catches today, believe it or not. Had a couple traps that were messed with, but no catches of any kind. And honestly, it was time to move. Some of these places that I've been on are small farms, and it was definitely time to move. So, recap of 14 days, 6 coyotes, 5 gray fox, 5 coons, 3 possums, 1 domestic cat, 1 domestic dog. So I went back and looked last year at these first 14 days, and last year I had 11, I think it was 11 or 12 coyotes, so it was about double what I have this year. I had 1 fox, so I'm at 5 foxes this year, so I'm way up on foxes. That's a good thing though. Maybe the foxes are starting to come back, and of course I didn't harvest any foxes so far this year. As you know, I let them all go. Raccoons, I was about exactly the same. Possums, I was about exactly the same. House cats, I was exactly the same. 1 last year at this time, 1 now. Dogs last year, I was way up. I was at 3 or 4 last year. I'm only at 1 so far this year. Last year, I set a record with like 11 dogs. So I'm really hoping that my domestic dog catch is going to be way down this year. So that would be fantastic if I can keep it low. So that's kind of where I am. And then the next question is, well, why are you so far down on coyotes? Only 6 coyotes in 14 days. Oh, by the way, average number of traps out was about 20. The most I had out was 19. The fewest I had out was 14. But if you added up all 14 days based upon the number of traps I had out, it was about 20 traps that I had out a day. Which is about all I can get done on 4 properties in the morning before work. So it's about 2.5 hours for me to check everything in the morning. So that's about all I can get. So this week I hope to have maybe 50, maybe 55 sets out, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe a little bit more, we'll see. If Steve was here, we'd have more. But with just me on my own, I don't know if I can have more, get more out than that. Okay, so let's ponder for a minute last year's stats compared to this year's stats. And the first thing I would say about that is, over the course of 14 days with only 20 traps out, that's not a very good statistical analysis that you can draw from that. The sample is just not big enough. So what can we draw from that? Are there some things we can draw from that? Are there some things that we cannot draw from that? I was using some new baits and lures during this first 14 days. I was still using some of my old standbys, like some Hiawatha Valley and some other things in there. But I was using some new stuff just because, you know me, I always like to be adding new stuff and new baits and new lures, give the canines and predators something new to smell. Did that have anything to do with it? I don't know. I'm not using any like bait that like some guy living in a one-room shack down the street made. It's all commercial bait. I was using some Flint Locklear stuff, some Dunlap stuff, still using some Tim Caven stuff. I was using some Koch Brothers stuff, Hoosier Trapper Supply stuff. It was just different stuff that I had used on these properties in the past, and some of the stuff I had not used ever before. Some of the Locklear stuff I had not ever used before. Some of the Dunlap stuff I'd never used before. I'd never used anything from Koch Brothers, so that stuff was all brand new. So do you think it's maybe the bait and the lures? I'm going to say no, because honestly, are there some baits and lures that work better in my area than others? There are. I've seen that over years and years and years of bigger samples. But realistically, if you're using any well-known, reputable, commercial grade bait, it's probably going to work. Again, some will work better in certain areas than others, and that's just something that you'll have to figure out. But for the most part, commercial grade baits, commercial grade lures are all pretty good. So I'm not going to put much stock into, oh, my coyotes are down because I'm using different baits. I'm not going to put a ton of stock in that. What else could it be? Well, I did use, and this is something really interesting, I did put in some different types of sets. Rather than just T-bones and dirt holes and flat sets, I did all those. I didn't do any trail sets at all because everywhere I was on had cows, and I find that just a useless proposition because cows are always going to get in them. So I didn't do any of that. But I did do some of these RJ sets. If you're familiar with that, Ed Schneider from Kansas Trapline Products, he uses those out in western Kansas. And I don't think he was the one that created it. It was like Rusty Johnson, I think, that created that set. So I did try some of those. I had like 4 or 5 of those out, and I did not catch a single critter. Not a single canine did I catch. Now, they were all for coyotes in coyote areas. I wasn't putting out bobcat sets. I wasn't putting out fox sets. I wasn't putting out coon sets. Every trap I had out was specifically for a coyote. So did I catch some possums and some coons sometimes? Yeah. Did I catch some fox sometimes? Yeah. But they were coyote sets. And as you know, that's the way I like to set stuff. If it's for a coyote, I set a coyote trap. If it's for a bobcat, I set a bobcat set. They're different, right? So they were all coyote sets. They were all in good locations. Even the places that I put the RJ sets, I'd caught coyotes there in the past. I had done good there in the past. In one particular place, I went back and even looked, and I caught like 12 coyotes in just that one spot over the last 2 years. So I know it's a good set. I know it's a good location. But I didn't catch anything on any of those RJ sets. And I didn't even have any action at the sets. Nothing scratching, nothing trying to get in there, no tracks, you know, where it missed the pan, missed the trap, but kind of inspected the set. Nothing like that. I had 0 action of any kind. Now, does that mean something? I don't know. It's a pretty small sample of 4 or 5 sets over a 2-week period. I'm going to continue to throw some of those sets out as I go on the rest of the season and see. But does it make me think, in my area I don't have badgers. In my area, coyotes are probably more skittish than out west. And does something in Nebraska and Kansas and South Dakota work that may not work where I am in the Ozarks? Totally possible, 100% possible. So I don't know yet. I'm not going to make an assumption yet, but I've heard other people talking about stuff that works in the east does not work in the west, and I know that from my own experience as well. It's funny because one of the RJ sets literally was 30 yards from a regular dirt hole, and I was catching coyotes in that regular dirt hole, but not the RJ set. Weird. So we're going to go with that and see what's happening. The one thing I can for sure say is that I had coyotes walking past my sets. Now, why would that be? I don't know, because that's what coyotes do. And if anybody can tell you why coyotes do that, or how to stop them and get them to come to your set every time, they're nuts. If you believe that someone can tell you that, you're probably nuts too. Because nobody can. Not Clint Locklear, not Mark June, not Mark Zager, not Randy Smith. Nobody can tell you why a coyote does what a coyote does every time. A coyote is a coyote is a coyote, and they will come to your set and they will not come to your set whenever they want to or don't want to. Are there things you can do to enhance your odds? Well, sure. And I've tried a million things over the years. I've tried putting dog food along the trail in front of my sets. I've used, trailing scents. I've used carcasses. I've used all kinds of different things to try to get the coyotes in the mood, to try to stop them. I've used scat. I've used this. I've used punch holes. I've used all this kind of stuff to try to get that coyote to stop his trot and to come to my set. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's just the game. That's just the game. That's just the way of the game. So I'm not very stressed over the fact that I've got 6 coyotes hanging on the ceiling right now versus I had 11 or something last year, 12, whatever it was. I'm not that worried about it. That's like basically one good day of catches and I'm back where I was last year. So I'm not stressed about it. I'm just moving on. So my advice is even if you've had a rough 14 days or you've had a really good 14 days, I don't know that I'd read a whole lot into either one. It's only 14 days. Let's let the season continue and let's keep doing what we know is the right thing to be doing. Keep working hard. Keep putting your sets out there. Keep sticking with what you know works. Keep setting on sign when possible. And just keep chugging along. And eventually, I think most of you will see your numbers probably work its way out, as I'm sure mine will too. So good luck. Hope that helps. We'll see you on the trap line tomorrow with a brand new day and a brand new property and a brand new set. So talk to you soon. Be careful.